When most people picture the leader of the Catholic Church, they see the Pope in white robes, the White Pope. He leads over 1 billion Catholics worldwide from Vatican City, but there's another powerful figure in Rome, the Black Pope, a nickname for the superior general of the Jesuits. The Black Pope wears a simple black robe symbolizing his order's humility and discipline. While the White Pope is the public face of Catholicism, the Black Pope leads the Jesuits, one of the Church's most influential orders. Jesuits take a special vow of obedience to the Pope, making them his most loyal force. An organization which, outside of God's people, is the mightiest that history has ever known. On the other hand, it is the most subtle and intolerant. It was formed after the Reformation began and for the chief purpose of destroying the Reformation. The terms White Pope and Black Pope aren't about rivalry, but about two distinct, connected roles. The White Pope rules the Church. The Black Pope leads a global order dedicated to serving the Pope's mission. Their relationship is one of service and obedience, shaping the Church's direction for centuries. Further down the ranks we have the monks are called the regular clergy, while the priests, bishops, etc., who conduct churches are called the secular clergy. Let us see why the Jesuits stand predominantly above all these, so that the general of the Jesuits has great authority within all the vast ranks of the Catholic clergy, regular and secular. Understanding these roles reveals the complex structure of Catholic leadership. The story of the Jesuits is one of faith, power, and global influence. Jesuitism inspired its followers with a fanaticism that enabled them to endure like dangers and to oppose to the power of truth all the weapons of deception. There was no crime too great for them to commit, no deception too base for them to practice, no disguise too difficult for them to assume. Vowed to perpetual poverty and humility, it was their studied aim to secure wealth and power, to be devoted to the overthrow of Protestantism and the re-establishment of the papal supremacy. The Jesuits, or Society of Jesus, are unlike older Catholic orders. While monks like the Benedictines lived in monasteries focused on prayer and contemplation, Jesuits were founded to be active in the world. Their founder, Ignatius of Loyola, was a former soldier who envisioned a disciplined, mobile, and highly educated group. It was a fundamental principle of the order that the end justifies the means. By this code, lying, theft, perjury, assassination were not only pardonable but commendable when they served the interests of the Church. Under various disguises, the Jesuits worked their way into offices of state, climbing up to be the counselors of kings and shaping the policy of nations. They became servants to act as spies upon their masters. They established colleges for the sons of princes and nobles, and schools for the common people, and the children of Protestant parents were drawn into an observance of popish rites. Jesuits are contemplatives in action, finding God in daily life and serving wherever needed. Their training is long and rigorous, preparing them for any challenge. Unlike monks, Jesuits are sent worldwide as teachers, scientists, missionaries, and advisors. Their global reach and adaptability set them apart. Their primary allegiance is to the Pope, allowing them to respond quickly to the Church's needs. This flexibility made them a powerful force in history. The Jesuits' blend of faith, intellect, and action changed the world. The Jesuits emerged during a time of crisis for the Catholic Church. In the early 1500s, the Church faced growing criticism for corruption and greed. In 1517, Martin Luther challenged church practices, sparking the Protestant Reformation. Luther's ideas spread quickly, dividing Europe into Catholic and Protestant camps. The Church lost millions of followers and needed to respond. Within 35 years, after Luther had nailed his thesis upon the door of the Cathedral of Wittenberg and launched his attacks upon the errors and corrupt practices of Rome, the Protestant Reformation was thoroughly established. The great contributing factor to this spiritual upheaval was the translation by Luther of the Greek New Testament of Erasmus into German. The medieval papacy awakened from its superstitious lethargy to see that in a third of a century the Reformation had carried away 2/3 of Europe. Germany, England, the Scandinavian countries, Holland, and Switzerland had become Protestant. France, Poland, Bavaria, Austria, and Belgium were swinging that way. This response, the Counter-Reformation, aimed to reform the Church and stop Protestantism's spread. The Church needed new energy and dedication, new soldiers for its cause. Enter Ignatius of Loyola, a former soldier who would create a new spiritual army. The Jesuits became the Church's answer, educated, disciplined, and ready to defend the faith. Their mission was to clarify Catholic teachings, fight corruption, and win back hearts and minds. The Jesuits' rise marked a turning point in church history. Their influence would be felt worldwide. Ignatius of Loyola began as a Spanish nobleman, an ambitious soldier. His life changed forever when a cannonball shattered his leg in battle. During his long recovery, Ignatius read about Christ and the saints, inspiring a spiritual transformation. He imagined serving God as a soldier for Christ, not for kings. Ignatius gave up his old life, went on pilgrimage, and wrote the Spiritual Exercises, a guide for deepening faith. Realizing he needed education, he studied at the University of Paris, where he gathered a group of passionate friends, including Francis Xavier. Together they took vows of poverty and chastity, promising to serve the Pope wherever needed. This small group became the Society of Jesus, their mission to serve God with discipline, intellect, and action. Ignatius's vision shaped the Jesuits into a global force. His spiritual exercises remain central to Jesuit training. From soldier to saint, Ignatius's journey changed the Church forever. The Jesuits' motto, "For the greater glory of God," guided everything they did. Their mission focused on education, missionary work, and advising leaders. Literature and science, lately associated with infidelity or with heresy, now became the allies of orthodoxy. Jesuits became renowned educators, founding schools and universities across the world. Their rigorous curriculum shaped future leaders and thinkers. As missionaries, Jesuits traveled to distant lands, learning languages and adapting to local cultures. Their approach, called inculturation, made them effective and respected. Jesuits also served as advisors to kings and rulers, influencing politics and policy. Their intelligence and loyalty earned them both trust and suspicion. The Jesuits' blend of faith, intellect, and action made them a powerful force in shaping history. Their legacy endures in education, science, and global Catholicism.